Okay, gonna start the stream here since it's about that time. Okay. So this is the intro level to Dark Dragonkin, and basically it walks you through the basic things you need to do to play the game. It walks you through each character's skills and what they do so that you can use that to build on the next levels. Each character has a different set of skills that are available, and that will move you through the game. Gonna adjust the music down a little bit just to see if that helps everybody hear me a little better. It's a shame it's a nice soundtrack, so basically you can use your controller D-pad or your WASD to move these characters around. And now it's going to explain Dante's jump ability. He can jump over these arrows here that are being highlighted. So now we're going to do that, and as you note, his jump ability lights up when he stands on the arrows, so then he can jump over here. And then as we move forward, just highlighting, you can get these loot boxes, which are just collectibles in the game. And then it's going to highlight Evelina's ability. She can turn into a fairy and go through cracks like this. They're being highlighted here. So again, here's her fairy flutter. It's called flutter, that allows her to change into a fairy. And so now she can get to that switch there. And then this is one of Rose's abilities. Shield charge, she can stun, she can move things, all kinds of interesting things with this skill right here. We'll go ahead and hit block to keep him from doing damage. And then we're going to move over here. And then now that he's behind him, you can clearly see that backstab's available. So he can get at things from behind and backstab them. So now we're going to move Rose up, and that's always a good strategy because she is far more durable than the other characters, so it's best to lead with her for sure. And so they're showing you this guy right here, and so he's going to want to shoot him at range. So we're going to show off Nova's fireball, and of course Rose can always block for him while he does that. So that's what we're going to do here. So a little slow, but it still does the job. So now Nova can come over here and launch a fireball and get that guy. And of course you can't get across this bridge because it's open, so how would we get across there? And obviously this torch right here is conveniently placed to help us out with that. Just for the heck of it, I'm gonna get the loot. And now it's showing you clearly here that you can launch a fireball here. So I'm going to do that, and lights the torch, which lets you go across the bridge. So we're going to move here, and of course we need to move this boulder out of the way that's being highlighted to get further into the dungeon. So we're obviously highlighting shield charge again, and so we're going to charge and knock that out of the way. And now we've got a sparkly door here that we need to get rid of. And of course Nova's got a handy ability to dispel things that are sparkly. And so here's his counter spell. He can block with it too, which is kind of nice. He can block fireballs and such with that. And so that clears the way. So now Evelina's going to have to transform again to get through here to get to the rest of the party. So again, we're going to cast Flutter, and we're going to come through here. And then she's saying if anybody's down, she can recover them, which means this skill right here, which I'm going to highlight, if anybody had got killed between when we started till now, she could actually heal the damage or stand them back up if they've fallen. And if you notice how Dante is kind of sparkling with her, that is your indication that he's in range of the spell. She has to be close by to do it. So position is key. And now it's going to walk you through this interface up here where you select the character to so now if I were to click Rose, now I can operate Rose, or Dante, now I'm controlling Dante, or Nova, but we'll go ahead and move forward Rose. So the portal that we need to go through to exit is right there, so that'll get us to the next level. But if at all possible, you want to collect those loot boxes, because eventually there's achievements and unlocks attached to collecting the loot boxes. So whenever you see one, go ahead and pick it up. So now it is just a mathematical deal of getting the numbers on the portal to activate it. Okay, so we've got 3 stars, and stars are an indicator of time. The levels need to be completed in a certain amount of time to get a 3-star rating. If it's more than that time, of course, you get less stars. And then the loot is just like I just said. If you see the loot, get the loot. Ideally, you want 3 stars and 3 loots, and those will be key for achievements and unlocks and interesting things down the line. So then once you go through the portal, you end up on the next level. So I'll just show you this as well. So again, we could bump this guy. So of course looks like there's a guy spitting fireballs at me over there, so that I need to be careful of. But as you can probably tell, that is not what I wanted to do with that boulder. So really in a case like this, you might be able to fix this, but if you really think you made a mistake, you can come over here, restart the level. And of course, if you wanted to leave go back to the title screen, you could do that, and then you've got your help with the different ways you can either by keyboard or by controller control the stuff. So in this case, we're going to restart the level from the beginning, which basically just reloads the level. So I'm back where I started, and probably the best choice of something to do here would be to put this on that switch right there, I think. So that conveniently opens that door. And then we don't want to do that quite yet, do we? And so we'll come down here. Oh, yep, fireball guy for sure. So we'll get out the way there. And another interesting thing is if you need to see the layout of the dungeon to see what you need to do next, a good thing to do is click between the characters if they're far apart, so you can see what's going on in between there. And also we can go down and see what Evelina's doing down here. And in this case, that chest is sparkles like the door, so it needs to be dispelled as well. So what I'm going to do is come up here and if you can hear that, that door is opening, but it doesn't. Once I get off the switch, it's no dice. So come this way, and I see a jumping platform, but I also see that pesky spitting Dragonkin. So that should take care of him. And so now, of course, we want that loot. And we're going to jump across there. And then let's go back this way. And as you see, there's our familiar face from a minute ago, pacing back and forth there. But as you see, we got an open bridge and we got a handy torch right there. So, and we got this chest that needs to be dispelled. So Dante's probably not the right guy over here. So we're going to go back this way. And I'm going to come forth with this guy. So now we can get that chest. I'm going to let's move back to Dante. Oh, actually, let's check this out. So there's our portal. There's our last chest. And we probably could. Let me just to show you. See, that's how close we are. Let me show you. I want to show you this just to show you what happens. So Nova just out and out died, but we can fix that. So I'm going to do that, and we are going to deal with him thusly. Now we got free run to the portal. But if you see the hitch here, I cannot, if I were to just ignore poor Nova and come this way, no dice. So I really need all four on the portal to get to the next level. But if you see here, I can just do that, and now he's back. And if you notice, the health is color coded to warn you if low to low health, so that you can pay extra attention. And I ain't getting stars there for wandering around so much, but that's no biggie. But then again, see, I can see what's going on here. Let's see here. I like this. I was just marketing this on my Twitter channel. If you were watching, guys, I like this skill. So we're going to leave that such as it is right now. Get that loot. And as we see, we got two guys down here. That one's upset because he sees somebody. And that one is kind of blocking my way. That guy. And of course that chest needs to be dispelled. So what we're going to do here is, oops, that was not what I meant to do. Fortunately the cooldown's not too bad. I reduced that, which is kind of handy for stuff like that. I wanted to keep it long enough to be difficult, you know, where you couldn't spam it, but I shortened a lot of the cooldowns during development just for playability's sake. I mean, reasonably, you want to be long enough so you have to use them strategically, but short enough that it's not a total aggravation that it blows your whole level if you use them once wrong. So that takes care of him. Now I could easily come up here and run around myself, but really isn't anything great up here for him. So I'm going to go back down this way. And be careful about that guy. But you know, these are the intro levels. The first like 10 levels are designed to have you learn the different skills as you go through the levels. You'll end up with a layering effect of difficulty to help you build your skill set. I add a lot of onboarding to the game as it developed to help people ease in, but because the sheer number of mechanics does make it a little overwhelming if you start cold turkey. So that's, as with the tutorial level, I greatly revamped that to help people, you know, understand what needs to be done to play the game, because the difficulty is not supposed to be the core mechanics. It's supposed to be solving the puzzles that get more difficult as they go along. So as you go along, there's a concept introduced, and then you're expected to perfect it. So I really didn't want understanding of the mechanics to be a limiting factor. But as that one's pretty simple. So then we can come down here, just for the heck of it. Get that. So as you notice, that's really handy there, because I can't. I mean, you could have just easily hit the switch and had her walk through the door and then used it to fairy form to get out, but there's more than one way to do it, but I just like using this skill, so that's the way I'm going to do it. course, you could get better times if I wasn't sitting here explaining it, but again, this is one of those levels that you can see around pretty quickly. That's gonna be a problem. So if you're seeing what I'm seeing here, you gotta put these things together like that. So really gotta be. So then you see, I could come out like that, but I really don't have a good place to get away from that guy. Grab the loot when you see it. Grab the loot. Literally, you can use that. Like that as well. You could just moved out of the way and stood on it too, so that's kind of what it is. So I need Nova. So then, let's. Really, I don't know if I need them. But what I do need, because I see a nice little crack there. I just wanted to show you that was a projectile. Okay, of course I can no longer go through there. I do kind of want to show you this. I don't want to show you all these intro levels just because if you decide you want to buy the game or play the demo, I don't want to show you literally the entire demo, but this is an interesting mechanic that's used a lot in the game. It's like these spikes show up a lot in certain areas. They do a crap load of damage. That they will one shot basically any player. So do not activate them if you have a player standing on them. But I'm going to back out. You can hear that the title theme is actually pretty nice too. Show you this. This is one of the few instances that they actually talk to you. But this is the end of the tutorial levels, where you need to get through a dungeon. But I think the dialogue's kind of cool. But let's skip ahead. So this is the fire realm. This is the realm after the tutorial levels, and I'll show you a level or so of this as well. But see, if you see what he's doing here, he's fire aspected. So this is one of those areas that Nova's going to have a problem with, because all these red dragonkin are pretty tough against fire, so his fireballs aren't going to do too much to them. So this is going to be much more of an area where Dante shines. If you time that perfectly, you can avoid damage, but it doesn't do too much to Rose, so it's hardly worth my my trouble, if you ask me. But okay, so I see a sparkly chest, so looks like Nova's services are needed after all. Oh, I see a shooter out the corner of my eye there, so I'm not following my own advice about leading with Rose. Okay, I see a little more sparkly. But there's my portal, but I just can't get to it. And I see another chest up there, so it's Evelina's turn to move here. And I was asked if this is single or multiplayer, and this is a single player game. The structure of the game is just such that you couldn't add multiplayer to it and have it still maintain a challenge. So if this blows up and is a super hit, I may look at doing a version with multiplayer in it, but this game will not have multiplayer. I'm always open to additional feature requests and such. So if you like it and you think that this game should have something, by all means let me know. And if it's something that's reasonably obtainable, I will definitely look at it. But yeah, this game wasn't developed with multiplayer in mind, so it's kind of what it is for the foreseeable future. Not that I'm opposed to doing it. Oh, fireball. Multiplayer version. Which, if you notice there, it lit that torch there, which is a convenient little thing. But if you see, probably somewhere up here, that did not hit anything. There you go. I hit him. So now we ought to be able to cross this bridge unhindered. And so there's my portal. And there's me. That's one of those instances where being able to click back and forth and seeing where you are definitely helps, because you can see a lot more of the dungeon than if you were pinned down to one character. Seeing the pan back and forth is a key mechanic to being able to solve these puzzles in the future. So if we pan back down, we see that open that door, which now lets us get to the portal. If nothing else, we can do that. And we got a sparkly chest there. What else we got going on here? It's always best to explore with her as far as you can reasonably get. So I'm kind of pinned in with these guys here. So what if you notice that puts the fire out when you knock them over, and then that keeps them from advancing, which is good. And these little plates on the floor will prevent the boulder from going past them, which is where that is really what this is introducing to you. You can't bump past those plates. So that's really an introductory concept, and that's one of the ways that the difficulty gets layered, because it's not a core mechanic of this level, but you can see that it is, a mechanic, so that when you see it later, you don't get frustrated by mechanics that you've never seen before. And so that's not good for him. Okay, so we got a sparkly door there. So I'm going to need a mage assist on that one from Nova. We got a jump portal. Okay, so we will jump across. And this is another strategy you can use on these kind of guys. If you come out, you can go like that and give yourself a little more time. But if you notice, that is why his cooldown is that long on that, so he can't just stand there forever and spam that at him and keep from getting hit. He can do it about one time, and then he needs to get out of the way. Otherwise, he's going to take damage. Now we can sneak through here and back out again. And this is another thing of note. If you notice in this particular case, we have trapped these enemies. We didn't kill them, so you don't necessarily have to kill every enemy on the level to get across. And some later levels, you'll want to give thought to what enemies you kill when, because you might need them to solve a puzzle. It's like the enemies aren't necessarily just obstacles to be bypassed. At some points in the game, they're useful. Their mechanics are useful to get through as well. So you may kill an enemy and then realize, oh crap, I needed that guy. You may end up having to restart the level if you don't have a way to use that enemy's skill to bypass the obstacle. if you notice, Dante's skills are very situational. His backstab's only lit up when that skill is usable, as well as, like, for example, the jump. It only lights up. So rather than having a cooldown, his are situational. Where if you look at Rose, she has a cooldown. Like if I'm just do this for the fun of it, it's got a rather long cooldown. Now if I bump a boulder, it does reduce. That was actually a mechanic I introduced because you may not if you stun an enemy or you're just using it for a speed boost, it's not necessarily and particularly the stunning of the enemy, but it's not something you want to be able to spam stun. But in the case of puzzles that later in the game where you have to bump the boulders a lot to achieve something, it's really not something you want a 10-second cooldown on at all. So your cooldown gets greatly reduced just for playability aspects on like the boulders in particular is what I'm aiming at there, so for the puzzle's sake. But case in point, huh? I'll show you this. I don't want to do all these levels either, but let me see. You see how much shorter the cooldown is if I do that? And in that case, you know, it's much shorter. But whereas if I do that, it's much longer because I don't want you doing that. I mean, it was really fun in the earlier builds where I could just spam that pretty much and whoosh around the levels, but it kind of messes with the time aspect as well as you know, the stuns, because the shield slam when you stun an enemy lasts 5 seconds. So you definitely want the shield slam to have a cooldown of greater than 10 seconds or greater than 5 seconds, and you want it to be a little bit more so that you would have to take an attack if you just wanted to stand there. It's one of those things where choices matter, where position has consequences as well as advantages. You can stand there and take the damage, or you can retreat, or you know, you can use your skills that in that manner. Same thing with block. It has a duration of 10 seconds, so you're basically Rose can become invulnerable to damage for 10 seconds, but at the same time that's going to have a cooldown. So if I click on that, you see there it is, she's blocking, but as soon as the as soon as it's up, yeah. So if I do that, it's not like she's gonna be able to do it again. Once you move, it cancels the effect, so she can be invulnerable as long as she doesn't move. It's a trade-off. So everything has, you know, all the skills have a trade-off. Every character has a utility and an advantage as well as a disadvantage. Like Dante cannot do damage unless he's standing behind the opponent, where Nova can do damage, for example, but you know, the fire enemies are a downside to him, and also later in the game he becomes an advantage. Like for example, when if I move on, and I want to do this anyway, move to the ice realm here. Like on this realm, obviously Nova is going to have a great advantage because these guys are ice aspected and he's using fire, and a lot of the other levels he does have a great damage advantage to the game, and And really, Fire Realm was first to make sure you learned Dante's mechanic. It's another layering of skills and abilities and knowledge that you need. Where Nova's abilities are pretty much intuitive. You push it and the fireball comes out. And he becomes very powerful damage-wise, but also, especially after you leave the Ice Realm, enemy position starts to become important. Even whether they're alive or dead, or sometimes even where they die becomes important. So it becomes a detriment on his side. His counter is like, it's easy for him to kill enemies, but do you want to kill that enemy? You have to make that decision. Again, choices matter. Abilities of the characters, positions, all make a difference. But anyway, let me show you the Ice Realm a little bit. Again, the Ice Realm here, and you notice this handy dandy ice patch. I really like this mechanic too, but it keeps you from navigating this way. So in this realm, it's going to be one of those deals where, again, you have to consider your position, and you need to be able to, the navigation is going to be the new challenge here, really. But I really like doing that. But let me show you. So then I could just escape this way, and that's not going to be what you want to do. But now if you see here, what I can do is that door stops me, which is a handy mechanic, which now allows me to slide the way I want to slide. And we got a nice little jump platform for Nova. So we're going to look this way. That's not what we want. So let's look at these guys. There's a jumper there, and then there's a chest there that needs to be dispelled. Let's see. So if we look back and forth, like I've been telling you, you can see we can take advantage of this. And not quite what I meant to do, but all's well that ends well. So now you see we need to get the guys down there, but we got this bridge is open, so I'm sliding across the patch instead of being able to stop. And we got a torch that's lit right there. Same thing for Nova, just like doing knife. So literally, I mean, doing that is really not going to help me a lot. So it also puts out torches, which is extra handy. So now I can go this way, and again, that being positional helped me there. And now it's a matter of bringing all the guys to the portal. And of course, this is content that's just beyond the demo levels. And actually, I want to show you one or two more things, but let me I'll show you the guy at the end of the demo. I don't want to show you how to beat him, of course, but let me back up one level. So this would be level 20 is the end of the demo. There's the guy that you got to figure out how to beat to win the demo. And incidentally, if you play the demo, there is a demo achievement. So if you can beat the demo, you get a handy achievement for that, as well as beating it on regular mode. I always encourage, that's why I have such a generous demo up. Play the game, see if you like it. If you enjoy the game, go ahead and please purchase. And there's a whole bunch more content to play after you beat him. But once you've played the first 20 levels, I hope you'll love it. But you'll have a really great idea of what the game is. There's a lot more mechanics and a lot more things to get introduced after that, but it really flushes out what the concept of the game is, and what so if you play the demo, you'll see exactly what it is. It's the exact same content that when you buy the game, and your progress will transfer over if you play the demo and you beat the first 5 levels, let's say, and you're like, this is awesome, I'm going to buy this game, and you go ahead and purchase the game, and it comes out. You can start right there on level 6 since you beat level 5. You don't have to go back and replay any of the content. Everything carries over. So I'm going to show the Earth realm too. Got a few more minutes here, so I want to show some of this content too. This is the level that introduces the mechanics of the Earth realm a little bit. And as you notice, well, if I can, this guy dies and becomes a boulder. So this is what I'm saying. Where these guys die is important, because like if I do that, and now this guy is stuck down this hallway, and there's going to be no way for Rose to fish him out of there with her bump on the shield charge. But one thing you can do, and I'll go ahead and show you this too, is now these guys can be bumped. So that's why I say, as you go through the level, the more you gotta think about what you're doing ahead of time, because the choices will matter. So, and as you notice, I just demonstrated, you can actually use the players to block the boulders if you need to steer them better. So I can actually do this, and now that is on. So I have more switches to reveal, but I mean, if you play any of the levels to get to this point, you'll clearly see that that's what you're going to do. But see, as soon as you step off, you can't. So you would need to use the boulders to progress here and get to the portal. And as well as there's a couple other areas to go to that may have your loot boxes. Where this level is pretty straightforward level. The real focus is introducing the mechanic for the Earth Dragonkin. In this case, they turn to a boulder. So the real focus is each area. The intro level is kind of a non-elemental level. The spitter is really the non-elemental Dragonkin, but and then the fire aspected shield Dragonkin is also on that level. but then they kind of introduce the core mechanics of the game. The boulder push, just using the switches, and using your long range skills, your short range skills, that kind of stuff. But then when you go to the fire realm, you have that fire breathing dragonkin that puts the fire patches, and I could show you just to show you. Again, position's important. Let's come back to the ice realm just for the joy of doing the ice patches. But yeah, so again, you have to think about that's the ice one, and he puts down his own ice patches, which is handy. So that's a new skill, and then of course he spits ice, and his projectiles are a little faster too. So they're a little harder to outrun, and so each area has their own own kind of guys. There's the lightning guy. I want to show you. His deal is lots of lightning. If you pay attention to him, I'll just show you real quick. He doesn't do anything fancy when he dies, but see, he'll shoot down corridors regardless of whether he sees you or not. Most of the ranged guys will only shoot at you if they see you. He shoots a lot more, and that actually can be you can actually, he's one of the guys that you have to be careful of, because his lightning can be used in different ways too. And sorry for saying so much, but let's take a quick look here. Show you the treasure real quick. And so we need to open that door, and this is one of those unique levels where you see the core enemy is actually not a dragonkin, it's mimics. And you will see other dragonkin from other realms making a guest appearance here. It's like everybody likes loot, of course, but it adds an extra little bit of variety, because there will never be more than 3 mimics on a level. And I guess I was saying but because you need 3 loots, and these guys are the loots, and I love that death effect. That a lot of effort went into that, more than I probably wanted, but I love the way it turned out. But as you notice, you still can't get to the loot even though you killed him. But what you can do is bump it. So I am going to, this is kind of typical of some of the bump related puzzles that you end up doing, but as you notice, it when you hit on the pedestal, it opens up, and now I got the loot. And if I get all 3 of them on there and I loot them, this door is locked by loot. So once you have 3 loot, the door will open and you can leave the level. So it's another interesting mechanic. So again, you have to pay attention to where you kill the mimics, or you won't be able to get them to the platforms and get the loot and open the door. So that's kind of the variation on this level. Each level has its own variations of things. But I think we're about out of time. I kind of showed what I wanted to show. If there's no other questions, I'm going to call it a wrap here. So thank you for listening, and please go ahead and wishlist Dark Dragonkin now during the Steam Fest, and it's going to be available March the 1st. So if you would like to try it, and if you like it, please purchase it on Tuesday. Thanks.